Alberta NDP candidate Bob Hawkesworth got a really plum job over the weekend. They probably thought we wouldn't notice. But let's meet Bob Hawkesworth. He's a former Calgary alderman, a former NDP MLA from way back in the 80s, and he ran and lost against Jim Prentice in this spring's general election. And then again, he lost to the Wild Roses Prasad Panda in the ensuing by-election when Jim Prentice resigned in that big huff. Oh, and once he ran for mayor of Calgary and lost to Naheed Nenshi. And over the weekend, Bob Hawkesworth, failed NDP candidate, got the plum patronage appointment to run the MacDougall Center. Now, the MacDougall Center is the Alberta government's Southern Alberta office. It's supposed to be a nonpartisan role, not a soft feather bed for your friends to fail into. But here we have Hawkesworth, who was an NDP candidate 2 times this year, getting the cushy job in the bureaucracy on a Saturday morning. This sounds a lot like the cronyism that Albertans thought they'd voted out when they finally booted the PCs from office. Now I wanted to see what Rachel Notley had to say about these kind of appointments when she was just Rachel Notley MLA and not Rachel Notley Premier. So I went looking through Hansard, the Alberta government's dear diary of everything said in the House. Now, does Rachel Notley know we can all look through Hansard? I wanted to see what Rachel Notley said when Evan Berger was appointed by the former Premier Alison Redford to be a senior policy advisor to Ag Minister John Knapp after losing his seat to Wild Roses' Pat Steyer. She said in December 2014, "We clearly had an example before where we had a former minister hired under the former Premier within, I believe it was 3 or 4 months of him having lost his seat by a very slim margin. It was a decision that was made very much to bring on an old friend, an insider, into a soft landing." Oh, and then she said on October 23rd, now if you take a former Minister of Agriculture who loses his seat and then give him a new job that has just been created just for him with no precedent, it looks a lot like nest feathering. Old Rachel Notley used to fight against crony appointments, and then the first chance she had to make one, well, she made 3. Besides Hawkesworth, she appointed former AUPE and NDP communications head Mark Wells to head up the nonpartisan Parliamentary Affairs Bureau, and before that, she appointed John Heaney, a man once called the most controversial man in BC's Harcourt NDP government, to be Alberta's Deputy Minister of Policy Coordination. This is the kind of golden handshake the former PC government was famous for, but it took them like 4 decades to get to this level of cronyism. Rachel Notley's NDP has invented turbo cronyism. Albertans are losing their job at a rate of 1,000 per week. But chances are they're oil patch jobs, and most of them didn't vote for the NDP. And the NDP only helps their friends get jobs. For TheRebel.Media, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid.